busy day today. I thought that this might be the last day of my life, because today I'm go to the Chinese consulate in Edinburgh to get for the in-person um, material set up. I have to give my two thumbs up the fingerprint because my passport is outdated. My first passport is issued 10 years ago in my hometown, and after I get my passport, I didn't use it at all until 3 years ago. I used that passport to go to UK, and then now it is almost outdated September. So and as I am going to get married, so I need my passport ready to get married as a valid certificate. So I I have to get my passport renewed. So I, this is not not expected before because after I went out of China, after the first time that I can use Google without VPN, that makes me feel so freedom. So I just determined I would never go back to China again. So I speak a lot of real words about the Chinese, about the China's Communist Party, about China's government. And then and then I didn't realize that one day I need to go to the Chinese consulate and get a passport. And I I also hear about stories about that famous story about Saudi Arabia's consulate in Turkey. In the Arabia consulate, they just abduct the famous writer that speak ill of their government, and then killed that person. Not only killed, but in a very brutal way. It says to be in a very brutal way. So I'm kind of a little bit worried that if I go to the Chinese consulate to just send my fingerprint for to renew my passport, then maybe they will arrest me. Will say, Qin, you say so and so. You said this better things. Yeah, that is harmful to our country, and I will give you this pocket of criminal uh, evidence and this, and then you have been criminal of this and that, and then send me to prison, and then things like that. Then I was a little bit worried that these things could be happen. Although I didn't haven't been very reasonable think about it, but I as I very everything you do it, you wouldn't try to test the other you when once you want to like I break up with the Chinese government, and then I don't want to test their boundaries, don't want to test their tolerance. But it turns out that it is okay that I am not in their blacklist. And when I go to, I remember that in the past, I just walk around the city. I accidentally came across Chinese consulate, and it is quite red, looks very majestic, with the red bars, and looks very like a Chinese traditional building. But today, when I go to the Chinese consulate in Edinburgh, it seems like a so humble place. And even that place, the door is locked. And then when I get to that place, I was so surprised. That is so humble place, and the door, and you have to ring a bell to get in. And I was confused. There are two keyboards on the door. So I ring the wrong one and still didn't get in. And I was so worried that I can't make it in time. Luckily, maybe within 2 minutes, there is someone just get out so that I can get in. and so I'm so happy that I get in without ringing a bell. And when I that the door is a very thick iron door, and very thick iron door. Yeah. So when I get into it, and there is another door, and another thick iron door, and that is a very humble room. Only three people works in that room, and that humble room, two of them sit behind the bars, just like a prisoner sit behind the bars, and one is in the like a living room in the get say hello, and he just say when I go say hello to me, and then saying that what are you what kind of thing do you want to do here? I said that I want to renew my passport, and then so I take out my um older passport and the post order and the special delivery envelope. And once he see the special delivery envelope and the post order, then he immediately understand that I wanted to the mail back service. And then he asked me to ask me to fill in a form and to have a seat and have in the form. He is not so polite. But he's just a but I think he is not so polite. Didn't say that please do that, do that. He just speak to me in a very neutral way. But so what his behavior compared to uh, British service, I think is not polite at all. He didn't say police. Police do that, do that, this, or and also didn't smile to me at all. So I just say thank you to him all the time and makes him very happy. But compared to the Chinese government officers in China's mainland, he is much polite because he don't command on me. He don't talk to me in a very authoritative way. So that makes me so surprised. So I full of gratitude. I try always every time he tells me something, I would say thank you to him. It makes me happy too. But he is quite reserved, not so obvious to show that he was moved. And then after I filled the blank, and then I go to the woman at behind the bars, and the woman would take charge of everything for me, ask me to you press that thing and raise it, and press your right thumb, and then press your left thumb and raise it, and then after and then I when he was after that I when he was processing my older passport or do something else, I was quickly typing to my boyfriend with my cell phone. So I quickly typing to it because I want to tell my boyfriend, where I am now. I am in the into the Chinese consulate, and I also want to tell him so that if I disappear, that means that they have takes me maybe have arrested me, things like that. And then and I just want to tell him that I have already in that place, and I typed so busy, and that woman is quite vigilant, saying that I was using my cell phone. She would ask, she would check that I didn't video her. So I think when she checked that I was typing, and I was just typing there, didn't trying to video her, so she didn't say anything, and I kind of smile to her, and I thought that this quite be a very good job in Chinese consulate, but it seems like they quite miserable people. These three people, two men and one woman, they look quite miserable, all things like middle-aged people, and they don't look quite happy, and but just even compare I think even compared to those government officers in China's mainland, they are not happy at all because they can't feel superiority of themselves against the other people, and in UK, and that they don't feel any superiority in this country's people as well. and maybe and also don't get any advantage from me as those people who want to get our some consulate service. So things like they are quite a very normal, very uh, very normal staff, ordinary staffs working there. So, mm, so I was and so I think that they are just very low rank jobs and didn't try to bully me at all. And compared to my experience in China, that is even less lower rank Chinese officers. They would always trying to humiliate me. I remember when I was in China, I want to transfer my social security social security, social security pension from a city to from the city that I worked to my hometown. And after that, after I have done that man walked behind the bars would humiliate. Then go back to your hometown, and then very yeah. So I so I think that I was so surprised that the this work stuff in the Chinese consulate in Edinburgh is not don't didn't bully me at all, didn't discriminate me at all. So I'm very surprised. And afterwards, there is a woman come in and she tried to talk with me, saying that because that woman is on the same bus as me and I get off the bus earlier than her, so she's talked to me that I was wrong. I overtook the bus and talked the so and so. And then I see the consulate woman smiled to us to me. So that makes me so surprised. So means that they are quite nice people. And okay. Best wishes from London, England. Thank you. Yeah, so I so I think they are quite nice people and very don't want to make any trouble to me. And that this is so surprising. And not only they don't didn't arrest me, but also didn't but also trying to be a little bit of attempt to make a good connections with me and trying to smile to react to me, and that makes me so surprised and so off guard suddenly. And oh, why should at the first time that I was so worried that they will arrest me immediately once I get into their consulate. And I talked about this worry with my boyfriend several days earlier, and my boyfriend was getting so worried and said that insisted that he would come to the consulate with me that in case that I was get arrested. but after careful reasonable comparison that people get killed in the consulate is only because very extreme countries like Saudi Arabia and also it is in Turkey and not never happened in the Western countries. So my boyfriend have to work, so go back to work after we choose our wedding ring in the McIntyre jewelry shop on Princess Street. So he has to go back to work quickly. So I have to go to the consulate myself. And as turns out, it is unnecessary for my boyfriend to accompany me to the county consulate, and I safely get out of that place. And I think that might. So I just think why is both a communist party in China. Why the government officers in China are so bad to me, and why this uh, a Chinese consulate, they are looks quite miserable people. They don't present anything that about their superiority or about or any attempt to humiliate me or anything to discriminate me. Why this difference could happen? So I think every people saying about communism, capitalism. I think maybe it is because of yeah, so that makes maybe because of the audience that determines how they treat you. Like those Chinese government officers, every day they encounter those people who go to their counters to do some things for the government from the in the government, and the government officers think very highly of themselves to these citizens. So they always see these people uh, uh, work miserably as factory workers and lead a very miserable life, while these government officers can have very special canteen, have very special food, and everything different from these civilians. So they feel very superior about these people, and they also know that these people so low pay that because they can see from your pension that you don't get perhaps any pay, so high pay, so they would just discriminate. They know that even if they discriminate you, you don't have any ability to get them any harm. And so and while in UK it's quite different because like those Chinese who are able to go to UK are quite maybe mostly is from the upper class, I think at least the middle class, but just the top of the country can go to UK. The majority don't have that ability to go to UK, and so every day they encounter these people from China, and they're from much well off and more powerful families. And even though these people might not be rich themselves, maybe they have very rich powerful relatives or relationships, so they dare not to bully anyone. And I also, so that is what, so when I was thinking about when I was bullied in China by this government officer, is not because of who I am, it's because of who they encounter. And also this so human side of this Chinese consulate staff that I have seen there. It makes me realize that, why I am so hostile to Chinese people and hostile to Chinese government. Look at these staffs; they are just humans and trying, and also and then just trying to be nice to me and smile to me. I feel very sorry that I have so many worries and so many expectations about them would be do very bad things to me. So that makes me, they are just the normal humans. But why they treat me like humans is because of the people every day that go in this situation would always be much better than them, much better situation than them. And so they know their position is quite lower, or just ordinary. And even I think they might be even lower because these jobs are just doing very regular jobs, like even the robots can do these jobs. So I think they are just a very low rank government officers, and they look at their working environment is not pleasant at all. And two people just sit behind the bars and wait for the someone bell ring, and other people just like a bodyguard and sit on the very mm, and in a very humble office. The desk is looks very shoddy desk, and their chairs looks very like I can't say it's prisoner's chair because I have never been to prison, but the chair is things like a very hard chair. It's not can move around, don't have a wheel or have a mattress on it, so it's quite a humble working station, working place. So they and I also hear about this Chinese consulate in there. They always have to have a lot to learn, forced to brainwash them, and also a lot of um lives like a military situation and can't have a contact with outside world. Is quite a limited life. So I things like that we are much luckier than these people. When I was talking with this woman behind the bar, I was always talking Chinese. I think in just that moment I talked the most Chinese words that I have talked for all whole month because every day I just talk with my boyfriend is all in English. So sometimes I talked to her with in English, and then makes them a little bit smile. So it's just kind of control myself. So they would think very highly of me if, and they just always think in a very Chinese way. So so that's I think maybe they make to do these things to try to make a good impression to the international students that outside of China make them still love China and don't that and all they see about China is all the good things and all the good services and all the humble service person. But if you are in China, like and then then those people would cheat you completely differently. So I was thinking about when these people and when this consulate staff, lower rank consulate staff, treat me so humanly, and wouldn't they maybe when they go back to China, they would bully other people, bully other Chinese people. So, what have you ever thought that the people that they treat humanly might be exactly the same people that they bully? So, just like me, I can be in two different situations, encounter them, and they would treat me completely different ways. So but people like me must be very few, very rare because people just in their circles and if they are in their lower circle, they would all their lives in their lower circle, and if they are in higher circles, they would all their life in the higher circle. So so that wouldn't be so much conversion. But I just think that it is the same person and they would treat you completely differently. It's, it's just so, so I kind of understand why so many people, Chinese, just in live in priority. They would so favor Chinese to favor this support this Chinese so corrupted government, and so it has a reason because they occupied their heart, do something that occupied their heart quite well, but they completely can't see in a different face in the back face and completely a hell world there. So so makes me so if I only have encountered this life in with the consulate staff, I would never understand why these people would hate the Chinese government so much. Since I have see the both sides, so so I wouldn't too regret about have so many worries and would worries about what they how would they treat me and bully me or arrest me might happen. So so this is the experience that I had, and the other the other thing happened is that when I went to the university, my university said that there is an upgrade of Windows 10 to 11, but I have two computers from the university, but both of them didn't upgrade to the Windows 11. They want to check what had happened. And I have to tell them because I break the computer and I completely removed their original Windows 10 and installed my Ubuntu, and so they kind of and so they didn't complain. They didn't blame me about that. Just said it's not allowed. But they must be very surprised about my technique. They don't know how I did that. So that is my technique. I break the Windows system that I have installed with their supervision softwares on the university computer because it is too inconvenient for a PhD student in computer science to use that. And also Windows upgrade and always upgrade takes a lot of time. Every time that you turn on the computer takes a long time to to work. So I just use Ubuntu. So I went to the university and give back their laptop, and they didn't and the staff met me and didn't criticize me at all. So I'm so surprised. So I don't have any. So I don't have any laptop anymore. So I'm going back home, and and kind of work. And then I went to and maybe tomorrow I would go to buy a laptop because I don't have any laptop anymore. But maybe they will install. I think the university will install their Ubuntu on the university laptop and give back to me again. But I'm not sure because this is in my last year. Um, I think he will. I think it would be quite fast, but I think I will wait for that. Otherwise, since the computer is there, they are just the staff. They wouldn't want to favor other student and just make me suffer. Since I didn't graduate it from my PhD courses, so that is what happened. And I have some discussions with other PhD students in the office, and they are very nice to me. I think I have for these 3 years in UK, I have changed a lot of still a lot of opinions of my about people, about Chinese, about everything in the world. Yeah, those people who have following me in the in the YouTube for a long time, they would know that at the beginning I have so many criticism about about the Chinese government, about the Chinese Communist Party, all these things, and but now but sometimes I feel that it's not. I think I have changed a lot. I wouldn't talk like that anymore. But still, I don't want to delete these previous videos because that is what I really think at that stage of my mindset. As I changed, then I find that they always said that all Chinese researchers do the research, scientific research would make up, would just make up some experimental result and just cheat, make a false experiment. But after I do PhD, this Westerner, the Westerner scientists do similar things. Maybe they don't cheat, but they will make fake science. And I have discovered two fake science that they have discovered. One is very famous one, graph signal processing, fake science. Another is spectral neural network, completely fake science based on their mathematical foundation is completely wrong. So these people and I know that the spectral neural network is misled by Yan LeCun. Do you know Yan LeCun is called one of the godfathers of artificial intelligence. So he is a very big figure, and his students. I don't know whether he's his students or his colleague, but then Michael Bronston even become a very big principal investigator in Oxford University and in DeepMind, so many big companies and must earn a lot of money. But I found his work is completely, fundamentally, mathematically, completely wrong. And I find that the papers that are written by him and the corresponding author is Yan LeCun, and that French scientist who worked in who is a New York University professor, completely wrong. And then after that, Michael Bronston just become a very big figure in graph learning. So it's just these people, they are so big figures in artificial intelligence. They make a completely false foundation for the research, and other researchers just follow them without scrutinize. And I am the first one find that they are wrong. I was I was so surprised about these things. So I kind of changed a little bit of my mind that they said that I always hear about a Chinese scientists do the fake experimental result, but it's not like that because scientists all over the world. They make a living by doing very nerdy things and always pretend to be complex and lose the common sense and do uh, completely wasted time and energy on things for years, and other people just follow the big figures and all completely wasted. So that is makes me very well changed a lot of mind about that. So one thing changed about mind is about the research scientists do better things. Yeah, so it's not only Chinese do that. These big figures in the Western world like Yan Lequan, yeah, the Joshua, all do these better useless things. And the other thing is, the other thing is about people, right? Like so many like I know that the German postdoc rejected my paper without just unreasonably, and that I think my audience that who have listened to my previous audience knows that what I'm talking about, and makes me realize that it's not only Chinese are bad, but also Germany is also have some very bad people. But luckily, recently I have get an email from another Germany. That Germany is a program chair of NIPS, is a position paper program chair, and his name it may be named David. And I made a little mistake in submitting the paper. I have to submit a section talking about how much I use the AI for writing this paper, but I didn't. I just missed that part. And ordinary, generally, if you miss any part of their requirement that state explicitly, they can desk reject you immediately. And but that man, that German man, he just asked me to give them the just give them the AI usage of the paper, and then I sent them immediately, and then they just replied to me that they said thanks, update it, and then best regards, and then David, and he sent me with this reply with his personal, no, not personal, with his university email. So I know who he is, and he CC'd to the program chairs of the um, NIPS conference. That makes me feel so warm. I think that my work, my research papers are so advanced than other people's rubbish papers. I discovered all their these are so many mistakes. They all make mistakes, and I criticize all of them. And finally, someone thinks like they don't treat me so badly, and someone would like to do something nice to me. That really makes me a little bit want to cry. And that is also a Germany. And he's a big Germany. I think he is a program chair, so he's much better than that postdoc Germany. So I think now my hatred to Germany people has dismissed. So I don't meet much and people from other from Chinese. But I think I just use these very special cases make me to understand what the world is or about what different kind of people. So that makes me a little bit feel a little bit warm about the world. But um and also, I still don't want to research with Chinese professors because I think I recently I am trying to wrap up my literature review of my PhD thesis. You know, you in British in UK's PhD thesis, you have to write a a very big chapter, independent chapter, just talking about a literature review. But I said that I find it very hard to uh, to write a literature review like in a meaningful way because when I literature review all these related works, they are all wrong. And then I said this epic work done by this big figure is completely wrong, and that this highly cited influential, widely accepted paper written by this big figure is completely wrong. And unfortunately, those people follow these big figures is completely wrong as well because they inherit the wrongness. So it's in a wrong, 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 wrong. So all the literature review would be all wrong, 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 wrong. So I think that this literature review would be very, very different from the papers that I have read from other people's PhD thesis. I think the PhD thesis that other people read, they would say that in this field, some people did so much good work in this field, and they have done this far, and the other person have pushed this further to that far, and another person push this to another far, so far and far and far. And however, in spite of that, they have done so many good works. But I find that there are there's something that I can do it. I have to do what. So there's something problem in it, and then I think there might be. So that is my work. Our paper is going to talk about and find something wrong in it, but they would criticize it in a very, very gentle way, but would criticize there's something make it shackled in a way, but you can't completely. I have watched Chicago. I think it's Chicago University. That professor he talked about if you're writing a literature review, you shouldn't say that these people, those big figures do these things. I just want to make up something compliment for them. They wouldn't care, wouldn't be interested. If you say that are completely wrong, completely rubbish, they wouldn't accept you at all because they wouldn't happy to hear that. But you have to say in a very gentle way, saying that there are a little bit some problem in it. And so I feel very, very, but I really think this field are completely wrong. So I feel very struggling to do that. So I just don't know what to do. So I asked my supervisors. I said, dear supervisor, and add all of them. Oh, I have this problem. I don't know. I can't write the literature review in a meaningful way. And then my primary Chinese supervisor, he didn't help me at all. He just asked me more questions, and saying that um uh, my question is that because when I do literature review, I know these things are big figure papers are completely wrong. But if I say them wrong, I can't finish the argument within just 2 or 3 sentences. I might have to write a separate paper to with argument, evidence, theoretical, mathematical, and theoretical and experiment to prove that they are wrong because they are very widely accepted papers. Um, so I find that is very struggling to write a literature review, just saying that because I am completely disconnected from this research community. So my supervisor will say that, have you ever read oh, this is so special to me. Have you ever seen other people have similar problems? Have you read a similar papers? And then he don't have any ideas for me. And I was said, I know there's no other people like me because I am very, very special. I can find other people's problem, other big figures problems. So my Chinese supervisor don't have that ability to help me that much. And I think my Chinese supervisor maybe is a little bit much better than those Chinese supervisor that in Chinese universities. I hear about a student that he he's his supervisor don't allow him to criticize other people's work. He said that this big figures is wrong, is doing fake experiment, and then his supervisor, you shouldn't say that. They say that if you say that, then I will fail you because that would make him uh, get a very bad institution removed. These rubbish people. Yeah, that will make him to very struggling to get along with this rubbish program uh, community, right? So they have to keep that balance, keep the relationship. So so I think compared to the Chinese supervisors in China, my Chinese supervisor in Britain is not so good, but still okay. And my British supervisor would give me very explicit guidance about how to write it, and so I much know that I what I should write, and so I'm quite happy to keep on with my thesis writing of the literature review, and I find more problems of it. So I'm very happy about it. And then I really don't want to work with Chinese, and then I speak so many ill words about Chinese, and I really, but also I have also difficulties in the Western world as well. There are foolish people in the Western world like that Germany postdoc, and even more foolish people happen in the industry or everywhere else. So I have to strive my way here, and do my research better, and also have more challenges, and to build myself into a completely different figure. So that is a lot of to expect. So what is this person talking about? Oh, I have very good news to share that tomorrow I'm going to have the first interview of my life in Britain. Interview. I finally get an interview from one, maybe a two-man company that is in Edinburgh. They are doing something that I am very familiar with, is designing the intelligent furnitures. I have seen their website is much simpler than the first simple than the website that website of my first internship in UK. It's just a one page website. It's and things like they are building something like a pillow that can move like a dog. And so when the older people touch it, things like is this pillow is reacting to her hand, and this kind of things. I think things quite a very very simple things that uh, they they are they are doing, but they talked in a very loud, in a very big expectation, talking about oh, AI is not just the it's not just a keyboard stroke the keyboard in front of the screen, but also about but also not a robot, but also it's about something living things, and more things. So I think that he is they so they are not so much make sense. So but tomorrow I'm going to meet them for my intern, and their intern maybe is just minimum wages, as my PhD is going running out of money. So I might need to get this job done, and then that is new experience gained. So I'm only worried that is my English is not so good. So that is the only problem. And I just don't understand why this Chinese staff in the Chinese consulate would smile to me. So this is quite a surprise. I think they are not surprising to me. It's just I'm polite to them, so they kind of smile to themselves. I don't, but it's quite reserved. Don't smile. Just not smile in face. That's so explicit. It's not that explicit, but kind of human side. Mm. Ho ho, that's very good. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.